Is your screen door looking old and run down, but still working really well, and it'd be a shame to throw it away? Then come along with us and we'll show you how to bring it back to life, saving you some money. Let's go. Hey guys, Musa here from Quantum Home Improvements and Solutions. Welcome back. And if this is your first time to our channel, it's great having you join us. And so today I'm with my good friend, Tony.
Hi guys.
And so Tony called me roughly about 2-3 months ago and said he had a problem with his screen doors. So we had a bit of a chat and he explained that the screen was coming off. And I said to him that it's quite easy to change. Now, so Tony is actually in the building trade, but he does commercial work, which is really intricate. And he doesn't do this more simpler tasks. And I said to him, I'd like to make a video and show him how easy it really is. So Tony, how long have you been living in this house for?
Oh, since 2005.
And so this house is built in the 80s, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, okay. It's very common to put fiberglass as a fly screen. It's very common. But these days, people are upgrading to a better product. You can either use aluminium or stainless steel. And so, can I ask you, how long did this last for when you moved in before it started ripping?
Probably when the kids were born.
Okay, so at a young age?
Yes, so maybe like about 2007, 2008.
So you can see the height, they were ripping at a very low height.
Try to go.
Yeah, try it underneath. Okay, well this is very common, I'm gonna be honest. So I live in a fire area, and so our BAL rating, bushfire attack level, is 29. And so council, when we built the house, council said that we need to put metal mesh on the windows. We couldn't have fiberglass, which is flammable. And so it wasn't actually much more in price, but the product is far superior. So aluminium is good, but it tends to, if you hit it, it tends to mark its creases. Stainless steel is what I used. And so I've had it in my house for 10 years and they still look brand new. So I said to Tony, if we're gonna do this, let's just pay a bit extra, it's not that much, and we'll use the stainless steel. So Tony, what do you think of that?
Well, I'm happy to hear it.
Great, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is take all the screws off. We're gonna take the door off and we're gonna place it on a table, which is much easier to work with. Okay, Tony, can you grab that door?
No worries.
Okay, so the next thing we need to do is take the bead off all the way around that holds the mesh in place. And so it starts from here. So I'm just going to use a flat screwdriver and just pull that out and pull that through like that. It's pretty easy. And we just pull it all the way through. Now this is in our way, this little cover, but I will get this out. Okay, so we're opting here to change this completely. Okay, there we go. All right, so this comes off pretty easy and we'll just throw that away. I'll just put it on the side here for now. Okay, so now for us to put new mesh on here, we do need to take this cover off, and the only way we're going to take this cover off is by taking these little plugs out and then the screws. So I'll just use my Stanley knife here and just get in there and just take that off. There we go, that's one. Okay, and there's the other one. Tony, can you just drill that out for me? Take the screws out. Okay, so now this will pull the whole thing apart. So we'll take that off and we'll take that out. So now we're ready to go. Tony, if you could put those on the side for us.
No worries.
Okay, so doors generally don't get the weather on them. So this has become a little dusty as usual. So we're just gonna grab a broom, if you could pass with the hand broom, and we'll just dust this up. Tony, we'll just clean this off. Tony, do you want to use your blower on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've determined that that the paint has eroded a little bit on this door. Remember that this door is probably around 30, 40 years old. Very solid door, I'm very impressed with it actually. The locking mechanisms, it's a 3-point lock. it's quite expensive to replace. All right, so what we're going to do is maybe just clean up with some thinners. This is powder coated, so it shouldn't take the paint off too easily. We're going to clean it up, and we may just do a touch up of some brown paint. So this is called Mission Brown. Okay, that's it, Tony. What do you think?
Beautiful, Musa.
Looks good, eh?
Yep.
Okay, so now we'll give this an hour to dry. We'll put it on the side. We'll grab the other door. Now, the other door doesn't have any damage on it, so we're not going to paint that one. And we're going to go straight into meshing it. Now, when you do spray, you've got to make sure you clean out your nozzle. So turn the can upside down and just spray that out, and then clean the nozzle.
Easy again.
Yep. All right, I'll just move that out of the way. All right, Tony, if you can grab that. Great. Once again, so just put the little screwdriver in. You can see it just starts to come, and you just pull that through like that. It's pretty easy. All right, that's it. Now we'll just pull the mesh off. Done. And once again, just give it a quick clean. I'll get Tony to give it a blower. Okay, we're now ready to put the mesh on. And so the product we're using is Primeview, made by Cyclone, which is a really good brand. The width on this is 910, the length is 2 meter, the door is 2040 or just under. And because the extrusions are about 100 mil either side, the size is plenty for us. And this is actually rated for BAL 29 fire rating, which is pretty good. You can get higher, but in this case we don't need it. All right, so we'll go ahead and put that on. Okay, so the extrusion section where the bead goes in is just here, the spline. So we're just going to move the mesh just only about 15 mil off that. So when we push the spline in, that'll have enough room to pull in. Okay, so now the spline we are using is linked or related to this particular mesh size. So we need to use 5.7 mil spline. We've got batteries holding each end because it just wants to curl up. So Tony's getting serious now. He's got his glasses on.
Yep.
And we're going to do this together. I'm just going to show him how to do it, and then he's going to run with it. Tony, if you can stand this side, and I'll get you just to help me just start this off. I'll just put the first corner in. So you start all the way to the end, and it's really hard to start the first bit because once you get it in, you can actually stretch it. There we go. As I said, that's really, really hard to get in. That's fine. Let's start it off. All right. So now, Tony, if you can just stretch that spline for me, just not too much, but just give it a really good stretch. Yep. And there we go. That's it. So while Tony's doing that, I'm actually pulling this mesh this way so we don't get ripples in here, and you can get ripples quite easily, especially with this very hard mesh.
Like I'm strong.
That's it. Can you go a little bit deeper? That's it, that's it. Keep going. That's it. So just take it back wherever it's low. That's it, and then just bring it over. That's it, beautiful. Yeah, you're doing well. Okay, so now this is the important bit. We've got to take this across without changing the direction of the weave. So I'm just using a little flat screwdriver, a small one. So be careful you don't tear it. So easy to push through that. Okay. All right, so that corner's in now. So it's a lot harder to put a stainless steel mesh than it is a fiberglass, but as I said before, the end result is much, much better. I'll put some pressure on the spline. So I'm pulling the spline a bit tight, so then it makes it a bit thinner for Tony to get it in. You're doing a really good job there, Tony. Have a look at that. Let me just show you. Look how nice and flat that is. There's no ripples or anything in that.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. That's actually really good. All right, I'm just going to reposition myself. So this cable is 30 metres, which is plenty for what we need here. We only need about 6 metres per door. I'm putting pressure on you, man. Okay, so I'm just using long nose pliers just to get this in on this corner. Oh, that's fantastic, Tony. Yeah, that was perfect, eh? All right, so now we're coming to the last corner. This is fantastic. We are struggling to get this in because the spline recommended 5.7 is really thick. So if you push too hard with this, you will actually rip the mesh. So you've got to be really careful with this. Oh, you're doing well. Okay, Tony, we'll come around. All right, I'll actually cut this off for you now. Just going to use a Stanley knife. Okay, so that's in. We're done.
Perfect.
All right, so now, Tony, what we're going to do with a Stanley knife, we need a cutting knife. We just go through gently without damaging anything, and we just trim off all that mesh that's excess. So, because it is stainless steel, you can actually miss some fibres. So you might have to go back and just cut some of them. All right, Tony, it's done. Fantastic. Woo! This is brilliant. I'm very happy with that. And listen to that noise. Shows it's very taut. Yep. Okay, and it's that means it's very firm. This is feeling really good. Very happy with that. All right, can we put this one in place and we'll get the other door?
Yep.
Pulling this spline for Tony is a lot easier, as I said earlier. So they do recommend 5.7 mil, but this is actually too hard. The extrusion itself is not big enough to take a 5.7. So we would have been better maybe with a 4.5. So anyway, Tony, I'll just keep pulling it. The good thing about it is that it's squeezing it in really taut, which is a good thing. Okay, so we're just struggling to get past these struts, these closers. So we just got to put the tool on an angle, but I'll get you to do a bit more, Tony.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let me just reposition. I'll just cut this part off. There we go. All right, so we're finished with that.
I think you need to use your pliers.
I need to apply something else. Okay, that's done. Fantastic, Tony. Brilliant. So now we just do the easy bit and just cut the mesh off, the trim. So there's a few things that I'm learning here. First of all, when we put this in, we left a little space here. We should have actually evened out the mesh because it does cut a lot better when you have a wider piece. You can see how easy that's cutting, much, much easier. Okay, Tony, we're done. What do you think?
Wow. That's amazing.
I'm impressed. Yeah, so the first one was a bit difficult to do because we had to learn how to cut the stainless steel. I've done fiberglass before. This is the first time I've used stainless steel, so just a bit of a technique. And as I said, we had a bit of a problem with the spline, but once I started pulling it, it went into the extrusion quite well. Yeah. So I think it's fine. Anyway, okay, Tony, let's put the doors on.
Let's go.
If you just close the door for me.
Yep.
All right, so it's a bit difficult getting these on with the struts, with these closers, but Tony's pretty good with this. This is where your commercial skills come in, Tony. With all those doors, those commercial doors you guys put on.
That's it.
Yeah, good on you. Yeah, good on you. That's very good. Great job, Tony. That looks fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay, Tony, the lock's on. Beautiful. Mate, that looks fantastic, doesn't it?
It looks
I'm
fabulous.
so happy with that. As I said, it's the first time I put stainless steel mesh on. Done heaps of fiberglass. So yeah, the trick is there, just in case you are going to do this and the spline is too tight, don't push down too hard because you'll rip the mesh. So just pull the spline tighter. So you might need 2 people to do that. So do you think your wife would like this?
She will love it.
Yeah, it looks just incredible. So you can see straight through it. I mean,
I can't even tell there's the mesh there.
it's there. So Tony, all we've got to do now is just paint with a paintbrush, maybe just these little chips on this side of the door, which we didn't spray paint. Yep. That paint looks fantastic. You can hardly notice the difference. And considering the age of the door, sometimes paint fades quite substantially. In this case here, because we used the thinners, we cleaned it up. It actually cleaned up really nice. Yep. And it's because it's a powder coat, you can actually use thinners on this. I wouldn't recommend it on all paints if you're going to clean. Sometimes you need to use a wax and grease remover. So Tony, it's been great working with you.
Thank you so much, Musa.
Mate, you're welcome. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And if you have any comments at all, please leave them below and I will get back to you. And I'd ask you, please consider to subscribe, hit the like button and share this video. Thanks guys.
Thank you.
Are you okay? I've got this proof on video that I said that.
It's okay. It's all right.
So can you sign on the dotted line?
It's okay.
It's okay. That mesh was very fragile, just like you. I thought you would have responded to the fragile bit.
No. I get that all the time. It goes well with my condition that I told you about before.
Yeah. What was it called again?
Husband leitis.
Wow. I've never experienced it. Is it really painful?
No. You just
it must be sometimes when you know when your wife is a little upset.
You just have to nap a lot. That's it.
Okay.
Lots of
But when the consequence of that, is that painful? The consequences?
Sometimes, yeah.
We are struggling to get this in because the spline recommended 5.7 is really thick. It's actually thicker than me and Tony.
That is sick.
Hear that noise? Very taut.
The C sharp.
Yeah, and so I just taught you how to do it.
Yep.
Very taut. Oh, just put him out there. Oh, come on, man.
I'm Swedish, it takes a while.
You may need some lahm mishwa or some tabbouleh or something. I don't know what you need, but you need something, man. Maybe some hummus.
Hummus. Baba ganoush.
Maybe some ahwa. Okay, Tony, I'll get you to do this side.
Yep.
Mate, you're doing a great job. Good girl. I mean, sorry about that.
You've been working with Joe Stuka for too long.